Can Prince William drop in for a cup of tea with his grandmother whenever he feels like it? Is Prince Charles allowed to visit his mom any day of the week? Or is the Queen's schedule a little more complicated than that? Members of the British monarchy are used to living life under the intense scrutiny of the public eye. Because of this, those who are part of the royal family are subject to some strict etiquette rules that govern their behavior, speech, and even their outfits. Those within the British monarchy begin etiquette training at a very young age. As etiquette expert Micah Meyer revealed to People, etiquette training for the royals starts as soon as they're old enough to sit at a table. They are raised having formal meals, going to formal events, and practicing everything from voice levels to dressing appropriately to even, of course, how to curtsy and bow. One major rule members of the royal family must adhere to is requesting access to visit the Queen, because even those closest to her can't just come and go as they please. The privilege of visiting Queen Elizabeth II without an invitation is only limited to members of the royal family who live in Buckingham Palace with her. However, there are protocols that must be followed at all times, even within the Queen's family circle. For example, there is reportedly a rule about not going to bed before the Queen. That was one rule the late Princess Diana had a lot of trouble abiding by, according to Sir William Heseltine, the former private secretary to the Queen. He revealed, "For Diana, the long royal evenings were agony. There'd be an hour or so of everyone sitting around making conversation, and Diana was driven to such extremes that she'd excuse herself and go to bed, which was thought to be rather bad form, going to bed before the Queen." The only other group of people permitted to see the Queen without an official invite are those who have routine meetings with the Queen. For example, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom engages in weekly meetings with the British monarch. As one might expect, Queen Elizabeth is a busy woman, and not one you can just bump into outside her regular schedule of public appearances. And even though the grounds of Buckingham Palace are open to the public for tours, that only happens when the Queen isn't living there. So your chances of meeting her during a guided tour of Buckingham Palace are sadly very slim. Clearly, getting an audience or spending time in close quarters with Queen Elizabeth is considered a privilege, and that privilege comes with the expectation of certain behavioral codes. According to the BBC, you are not to sit before the Queen takes her seat, nor are you to dig into your meal before the Queen begins to eat. Actually, the ideal thing is to follow her lead at all times, up until the end of the meeting when the Queen must take her leave before everyone else. But while courtesy demands that no one leaves before the Queen, it is expected that guests or visitors arrive before her at any gathering. When introduced, the right way to address her is Your Majesty, and then ma'am after that first greeting, which may be accompanied by a bow or curtsy. It's also important not to speak to the Queen unless she speaks to you first. And while attending a meal, the Queen speaks with the person on her right before the person on her left. Formula One star Lewis Hamilton revealed that he flouted this rule when he met with the Queen and she had to politely correct him.
She's like, no, you speak that way first, and I'll speak this way, and I'll come back to you.
Even though Michelle Obama and Queen Elizabeth were pictured with arms placed around each other in a 2009 embrace, touching the Queen is generally considered poor manners. Of course, it's very possible that the Queen just decided to forego her own rules on this occasion. On a final note, most of these rules are not considered binding. The BBC explains that, while most stick to the formalities, breaking protocol likely won't result in punishment. For most people, meeting the Queen is a pretty unlikely scenario anyway. Still, it's good to be prepared. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about the royal family are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.